Nearly half of the people who use CBD stop taking traditional medication, says Deborah Borchardt in an article for Forbes magazine. Cannabis can do a lot more than just get you high. Cannabis is actually full of amazing healing property. A macromolecule in cannabis called cannabidiol has gained popularity over the past year for its healing properties. This afternoon, I am going to teach you about CBD. After listening to the podcast, Science vs. CBD, Weed Wonder Drug, I became very interested in this drug and what it can do. I have researched the topic extensively and used it myself. Today, my intentions are to teach you exactly what CBD is, how it gained popularity, and why people love it so much. Cannabidiol, otherwise known as CBD, is a naturally occurring compound found in cannabis. People have been using cannabis as a medicine for thousands of years. Today, people are becoming crazed with CBD and its therapeutic properties. CBD has gained popularity from its therapeutic abilities without the same effect as THC has on your body. THC is the compound found in cannabis that gives you that high feeling from its psychedelic effects. According to health.harvard.edu in their article, What We Know About CBD, the legal status of CBD is in flux. The product is readily obtainable in most parts of the U.S., but the laws legalizing CBDs have varying degrees of restriction. While government still considers it in the same class as marijuana, they do not enforce against it. You can find CBD in most health shops or online today. CBD recently has gained extreme popularity in curing people's epilepsy that before were deemed incurable. In this podcast, Science vs. CBD, Weed Wonder Drug, they interviewed a family whose daughter named Charlotte had been diagnosed with a rare form of epilepsy called Dravet syndrome. The family had tried every type of drug for epilepsy. By the time Charlotte was 2 years old, none of the drugs worked. Charlotte was having seizures every 30 minutes that would last up to 4 hours sometimes. Charlotte was being fed through a feeding tube on oxygen and could not communicate. By the time Charlotte was 5 years old, she was still seizing every 30 minutes, and it was like she was barely alive. Her mom decided to sign a DNR at this point because it seemed like the best thing for Charlotte was for her to pass on. Around this time, Charlotte's mom started looking into ways for her daughter to not be in pain anymore. She started looking into medical marijuana when she found some small studies about people using CBD to prevent seizures decades ago. At this time, CBD was pretty hard to find and there was not much research on the compound. She eventually found a company that grew medical marijuana and had been testing a strain of weed with high levels of CBD. They came and met Charlotte and decided to take a risk for her sake and produce a CBD oil for her. She stopped seizing immediately. Days and months went by, and although she didn't stop seizing entirely, she went from eating by feeding tube and not talking to running around with her siblings, riding a bike, and going to school. Although she was still special needs, the CBD oil changed her life. Since then, science have ran several clinical trials proving that CBD can help with epilepsy. According to NPR.com article on Epidiolex, now available to treat seizures associated with LGS and Dravet syndrome. In June 2018, the FDA approved the first CBD prescription drug to treat seizures associated with LGS and Dravet syndrome. People are now using CBD for everything from cancer to acne even. Charlotte was one of the first stories to gain popularity and start the craze of this drug. Since then, people can't get enough of it. People are getting CBD in their morning coffee, protein shakes, and even giving it to their dogs. Everyone seems to be using CBD, now claiming it could do all these different things, such as cure anxiety, sleep disorders, shoulder pains, etc. We even sell it at our dog store now, in dog treats for dogs with anxieties. It all seems kind of crazy that one drug could do all of these things. It partially could be from the placebo effect, we don't know. According to the article, the CBD boom is way ahead of science on sciencenews.org. Since the legalization laws are not completely clear, any research on CBD is not government funded. We do not have much research on all the targets CBD hits in the human bodies, nor what effects it may have, if any. In my experience with CBD, it seems to have been extremely helpful. It has worked for my dog's car anxiety, my stepfather's knee pains, and my sleeping problems. I've covered a lot of ground here today, but as I draw to a close, I would like to stress 3 things. First, CBD is a macromolecule in cannabis that has many therapeutic properties, without the psychedelic effects as the macromolecule in cannabis that THC has. Second, CBD has become the 21st century wonder drug, curing all sorts of things that seemed incurable like Dravet syndrome. Third, CBD has gained so much popularity that people are using it for everything. Nearly half of the people that use CBD have stopped taking traditional drugs. I hope today that what you have learned you can use in a way that benefits you. Thank you. Have a great day.